Warning, tonight's presentation, although edited for YouTube, contains imagery and subject matter some may find disturbing. While our program is educational, we still feel that viewer discretion is advised.
I'm sorry to get so riled up, but you can't say that. You can't. Not anymore. You're lucky I don't get a little more serious with you. But that's the sort of person that I have to be. Because of people like you. You make it rotten for all of us. You have to change. And I take his head into my hands and I bop him one final time. And then he's gone.
I'd like to thank the Minute Hour and Drue Langlois for their original video linked down below. Recently, I've been getting into live streaming so that I could learn how to do it for myself. In the process to prepare for my own stream, I decided to take notes on what not to do. Much like with YouTubers that need to stop, there is no shortage of horror stories on the streamer side of the internet. Today, it's our goal to cover some of those stories about these individuals that either need professional help, a reality check, or just outright need to stop. A lot of these people have issues with doxing, so if anything happens to me, then this damn video will likely be to blame. Honestly, I'm more anxious about this project than any of the worst YouTubers list, since extreme overreactions is the name of the game here. This video got so off the rails at one point that I even removed someone from the list for my own mental health, because their controversy was so contentious, depressing, and morbid. I felt like there was nothing I could safely add to the discussion. Sometimes it's best to know your limits and when to back off. But before we get into that, here's something a little bit different that will also keep my lights on.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that blood? Hey, dude, what are you doing out here? You're bleeding.
Why are you so... Of course, as gaming on the go.
I don't think you understand how serious this is. We might not be able to save those fingers. This might be the last game you ever play.
Well, if it is, I'm just glad that it's Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends is a fantasy RPG hero collector that is regularly updated with content and community events. With Forge Pass Season 3, you can get some amazing rewards, including a limited edition artifact set and some cool skins like this one for Madame Cirrus. With over 600 champions to collect, all using unique skills, you can build your team, develop the squad. Whether you like to PvP, raid, or dungeoneer, you can always raid your way.
Wow, but could you explain it in a more thematic way? Like a top 3 list?
You can play it anywhere!
The graphics. On the phone, it's rare to find a game with a higher level of production and visual quality, which is impressive because the game is also free and can be played on anything from Android, Mac, iOS, and PC. So yeah, I hope that gets this whole list. If any of this sounds interesting to you, then click my link in the description or scan my QR code on screen here. You'll get unique bonuses worth up to $30. For starters, you'll get a legendary version of the Death Knight by logging in for 7 days between now and October 27th. You can also use the promo code DKRises to instantly level that new champion all the way to level 50 with 5-star ascension. Right when you sign up, you'll get 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard found right in your inbox up here, so you can summon an awesome champion as soon as you get in game.
Thank you, Raid Shadow Legends, for not only helping this video get made, but for helping keeping the editors paid, and also breaking my phone. It was a good ad.
With that out of the way, sit back, relax, turn down the lights, and prepare to be surprised by how low some of these content creators are willing to go.
We wanted to start off this segment by addressing the elephant in the room. Yes, GaroShadowScale is a furry, and we will also be calling him cringe, but it isn't because he's a furry. What makes GaroShadowScale cringe is the way he narcissistically controls the audience which is formed around him, even going as far as to bully and manipulate members of his own community in order to keep himself as the center of attention, whatever the cost. GaroShadowScale found himself embroiled in controversy last November when these tweets from OMG Leto exposed his toxic Discord server rules and Patreon, both of which raised a few red flags, to say the least. These Discord rules seem tailored to maintain a cult of personality within the server, such as forbidding users from playing games together without the streamer present, constantly reminding users to keep the focus on Garo and his content, and disallowed any other streamers or YouTubers. This animosity towards possible sources of competition for the attention of his community is so great that Garo also encourages server members to tattle on one another, and according to this former moderator, uses his moderation team to stalk his community's social media and report back if anyone is following one of his enemies or becoming a content creator themselves. Then there's the matter of Garo's Patreon. If you're taking a look at these reward tiers and your jaw is hitting the floor at the fact that someone could charge $100 for a Minecraft selfie, understand that the number of reward tiers has been severely cut back, and that the maximum tiers used to cost double and possibly even quadruple the current max tier. In addition, you used to be able to unlock rewards like virtual hugs in VR chat and personalized DMs for exorbitant prices, and even purchase Twitch VIP status, which is very much against TOS. As of now, the Patreon seems to primarily serve as a pay gate, since participating in the streams and the Discord server is heavily restricted to those who aren't either paying up or clocking in enough hours of stream watch time. As if demanding that your fans watch your streams for 15 hours a week to maintain regular status isn't bad enough, Garo takes it a step further by shaming members of his community who fail to meet these engagement levels. Take, for instance, this Discord conversation which was posted to Twitter, where Garo calls out his fan for having too low of a watch time and not posting messages consistently enough during his streams, telling him that he'll have to do much better to qualify for regular status. To see the true depths of Garo's narcissism, however, check out this conversation, where Garo banned someone from his community for being too likable and for forming strong attachments with his moderation team. In Garo's own words, he had worked hard to train and drive the moderator in question how to behave and direct server attention to Garo himself, leading one to wonder how many members of the community Garo is intentionally forming this deeply toxic grooming relationship with. The lengths that GaroShadowScale has gone to keep all eyes completely fixed on him and his community has turned him into an infamous cautionary tale of what can happen when a jealous ego gets too big. Taking a step back and remembering that his content is tailored to appeal to young people makes this whole scenario seem that much more pathetic, painting a picture of a content creator abusing the admiration of children to manipulate them out of as much of their time and money as possible, all while attempting to exert a degree of control over their lives that ensures their loyalty and keeps the attention coming. All we can really say is that Garo doesn't deserve your support, and the streaming community should never endorse behavior like his.
The streamers on our list so far have been undeniably brazen, whether they're willing to talk frankly about something awful they've done, or just wearing their gross personality on their sleeve. Returning for another round on our series of videos covering which content creators need to stop, MiniLadd reminds us that there's something much worse than being shameless about misconduct, and that's making an effort to bury it. To briefly summarize the controversy surrounding MiniLadd, since he's made his desire for the situation to fade from public memory clear, Craig Thompson was exposed in 2020 for grooming multiple underage female fans in order to solicit nude photos from these minors with the intention of meeting up later. Craig's response downplayed and distracted from the issues, and while he promised to take a hiatus from the internet to get help, conversations he had with his Discord moderators revealed that he didn't actually feel any remorse and merely intended to wait for everything to just blow over. Not willing to make any genuine admission of guilt or accept any responsibility for using his status to manipulate young girls, Craig relies on his fans either taking pity on him and having a skewed perception of the events, or not knowing about what he did at all. Unfortunately, Craig has returned to streaming and continues to dodge accountability for his actions, even in his most recent videos discussing the controversy. In his video titled, "Why Losing Everything Was the Best Thing to Ever Happen to Me," he talks about what he's learned so far in the therapy he promised to attend. Instead of being honest about why Craig needs help, however, he makes it seem like the reason he was attending therapy was due to the stress of being a content creator in order to rediscover himself, much like how he tried to blame a PR team for his unsatisfactory response in 2020. Craig continues to blame others for his inability to be transparent with his fans, trying to paint himself as the sympathetic party.
I initially tried to come back a month after everything happened. I was told, I listened to the people around me, they're just like, just take a month off and just get back to recording and everything will go away in due time. Just keep uploading. And I remember telling them, like, I don't like this idea, but I'm going to do it because I am panicked and I am small and I panicked. I really did. I handled this so badly. So I kept uploading. And I remember after every time I upload, I would cry. And I would tell my managers, like, I hate every second of this. Why am I doing this? Like, let me make the apology video and let me just take time to breathe and to grow. And that's because a lot of people have got through their cancellations by just going through it. But I care a lot about what people think of me.
Between continuing to obfuscate the facts and shift blame, MiniLadd proves that he wants you to be left in the dark, and for the stories of his victims to fade away while he operates business as usual. Maybe if you make apology videos that strategically don't admit to what you're apologizing for, it's time to stop.
Back in the old Tude days, Athene made videos where he pretended to be a cartoonish depiction of an overly conceited gamer.
Dispelling you. Slow. Yeah, go on the priest. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. Silence. Go down. Just like the Titanic. Yeah. That was what we played. Yeah.
Videos like this were a hit back in 2008, and Athene would go on to flesh out his character along with others played by his family and friends, becoming one of the first gaming channels on YouTube to grow an audience of his size. In 2011, Athene would take a sharp turn from his usual content to, bizarrely enough, armchair philosophy in his video Athene's Theory of Everything. This video claimed to push the boundaries of quantum physics and neuroscience and warned that it might even take multiple viewings to understand its philosophical repercussions. It goes without saying that the video is entirely pseudoscientific bullshit, but don't take our word for it. Instead, hear it from the man himself.
I never really said that for me, these theories were true. To me, it was more a mean to the end. I wanted to cause a psychological revolution, more so than find an answer to the theory of everything. So to me, whatever fitted in the ability to get more traffic for people to watch it, did it for me. And that is why Athene's Theory of Everything now is one of our most popular videos, because it worked. Basically putting this scientific science in there. Well, this science, physics, even though a lot of it is not true, it's just, but it was just theories. I even said it. It's even in a documentary. For me, it's to poke people to think about things.
This video right here even resulted in controversy and confusion among fans who wondered if they were being trolled. This was only the start of a trend for more philosophy-based content. Videos like, "Are we all in denial?" and "Why are we all so self-centered?" are no longer found on his mostly scrubbed YouTube channel, though what remains fits the theme of Athene overstating his intelligence while claiming to have the answers to life, the universe, and everything. While Athene has tried to distance himself from the ironically named Athenism movement in recent years, he shouldn't be allowed to live down the aggressive way he pushed his selfless cliques, gaslighting his audience by claiming that they were responsible for their own depression as well as all of the tragedy in the world by not accepting his ideology.
And the funny thing, you'd feel more stable and more in balance with yourself than ever. If you're depressed, depression is gone. You know depression? You deserve depression. After knowing this, you deserve it. Because your depression is merely you being attached to how you feel and your own experience. If you chase your own experience, knowing that it kills people, your inaction, then maybe you deserve it.
Making this even grosser, there is even a section of the website which is still accessible today with the header "Examples of Emotional Videos Showing Tragedies in the World," which contains shock videos intended to manipulate and guilt trip people who visited the website. If all of this isn't bonkers enough, in 2015, Athene would go on to become the face of the newly formed Singularity Group, a sort of volunteer think tank in a small town on the German-Polish border called Forst. The movement grew to about 25 members, all living together in what Athene himself calls the compound, working on web development projects among other things in order to have what Athene calls maximum impact on the world. In the compound, all living expenses are paid for the volunteers, but in exchange, they receive no salary for their work and must sign an NDA which forbids them from criticizing or disparaging the group or its projects in any way, with those who do voice their disagreements being made to feel isolated and worthless. So now we have this new age internet-based David Koresh who gaslights his audience into adopting his wacky religious beliefs and promises that you'll get laid if only you will move to his remote compound in Germany and work for free developing mobile apps while promising never to question him. Just wow. In a live stream calling out Athene for his behavior, this is what a anonymous former Singularity Group volunteer had to say about her experience.
I don't even want to talk about his place and how he's tricking that he runs a good place and how he completely emotionally abuses people. I mean, if I'm a healthy person and you're a healthy person, you would never make me feel like this. You would never make me feel like I don't know what I am with you. You would never make me feel like I'm less worthy than you. Not just that, you would not make me feel as a guy. I mean, I can tell again, in some way it was my fault. I went back and I knew who he is and I somehow just expected something different. I don't know what I expected, like suddenly things change or whatever. I can complain about the trauma I get there and how I was humiliated and constantly making me feel like I was unworthy. You think that it's your fault. I just want to know who he is so I can let go, so I know there is nothing wrong about me. All of this psychological abuse and gaslighting, constant, is not okay. He cannot get away with it. It's not okay. It's not okay to do these things. That's now why I feel like there's something wrong with me, and that's why I can't even stream normally and express myself, because in some way I'm afraid. What is wrong with me?
That quote was provided by Chris Bratt, who covered Athene's cult in Investigating Athene, the YouTuber who started a religion, which you can find in the description linked below. Chris not only makes amazing videos outside of this topic, but also his video acts as an excellent resource for learning about Brumaza. But it also contains more testimonials from former Singularity Group members in a way that protects their identities. One thing that stands out about these testimonials is how common it appears to be for Athene to bully and threaten people in his compound in order to manipulate and control them. But again, you don't have to take our word for the fact that Athene's a manipulator. He'll tell you that himself.
So me manipulating people and really pushing the right buttons, I thought it was the right thing to do because it helped the bigger picture. It helped more people, you know. So for me, it was nothing wrong to push buttons, to manipulate people, to do whatever, to lie to people. It didn't matter because I knew in the bigger context, it helps kids. Because it was never about me. It was not about my own benefits. I didn't benefit from it myself. The problem though is that doing what is right is always defined by your understanding, and if your understanding is wrong, it's limited, then you might get to do things and really go away for quite a while without realizing that you're basically doing more harm than good. I'm not saying that I'm doing more harm than good. I'm just saying that I could have done a lot more good.
Today, Athene mainly piggybacks off of the unpaid work of his mobile developers at his compound by promoting their game, Clash of Streamers, which is a game that utilizes blockchain technology to mint NFTs and implement Athene's scam coins. In addition to being the product of Athene exploiting developers at his Singularity Group to prop up a crypto scam, the game itself is filled with exploitative mechanics that are carefully crafted to trick you into spending as much money on in-game transactions as possible. But again, don't take our word for it.
What's the goal of the game? Still don't get it. Put my in coach, please. The goal of the game is to milk your money. For your money to become my money.
To put it bluntly, there's a clear reason why low-tier God has been banned off Twitch, lost the privilege of participating in various tournaments, and has had 3 separate Xbox accounts IP banned. LTG is the worst kind of sore loser. The type of person to send some of the most horrible, vile shit to someone, all because he could not handle losing in a fighting game. Currently sitting at 123,000 subscribers, LTG or Delon Sparrow got his start in the fighting game community, also known as the FGC. He became notorious for the salty messages he sent and the videos he would routinely make calling out the opponents who beat him.
All right, so
it's Loach?
Yes, you didn't know this. Okay, I knew this. Is why I sat down. So, do we have time for a little backstory?
Yes, tell it.
Okay, so
but be PG with it.
Well, we'll be PG with it. This guy plays Rose. He plays online a lot. He's got a YouTube video series. You should check it out if you get a chance to. But let's just say that this guy is very rude, very crude, and he thinks he's better than everyone.
I have often got many hate mail from him.
With a lot of slurs.
And then at the end of it, after I proceed to 5-0 him, he asks me for advice.
Yeah, so it's...
Why does everybody in this room hate that Rose player?
Because, long story short, like, probably one of the nastiest people I've ever met in my life or heard from. Like, if you win a match, he'll challenge you, he'll call you the F word, he'll call all this stuff. And he's called out SoCal, he thinks he's really good. But basically, he's told us for months that he's going to come out here and beat us.
Okay.
And he finally shows up after about 4 months.
Where's he from?
I'm not sure, actually. But he's in Southern California, but I don't know where.
So he's one of those that sends all these messages online.
Like, literally. It happened to me last night, which is funny. I beat him all the time, but it was literally just 4 or 5 matches in a row. Pretty funny.
Okay.
These attacks usually targeted his opponent's playstyle.
Look at that! I gotta respect that! No.
Their character choice.
Ken, all you play online. Cammy, all you play online. Birdie, all you play online. Wrongs, Abukis, Mikas, Rashids, Skiles, Bisons, Karens, Akumas, and Abigails. Over and over again.
And even their personal lives with zero restraint. One of the worst examples of this lack of restraint comes from 2017 when LTG attacked Broly Legs. For those that don't know, Broly Legs is a legend in the FGC. Born with arthrogryposis, Broly can't play like most of us can. Using little more than his teeth, Broly is one of the best players around, and even coaches others, helping fellow players improve their game. It's hard to find a more positive, generally kind person in the community than Broly. So what does LTG do after being beaten by Broly Legs in a game of Street Fighter V? Well, before the match even started, he said,
I gotta face this f***ing crane, motherfucker.
And in typical low-tier god fashion, he rage quits when he's on the brink of losing, leading to more insults spewing out.
I'm good, dude. I can't accept losses where I bodied you and you just get some fake shit on me. Slobbering all over controllers and shit. Motherfucker's a fucking worthless human being. Worthless piece of specimen. Stop even saying legs. Why even call him Brawley? The fuck out of here. That's a disgrace to DBZ. No one gives a fuck about that slobbering ass motherfucker. So who gives a goddamn? If you want to talk shit, then you can get clowned like you're an actual full human being. So no, I don't give a
LTG would then go on to say that because Broly Legs is disabled, he isn't allowed to talk shit. In a video titled Why I Roasted Broly Legs, he even admits that he reacted the way he did for views.
People don't catch on to the shit that I do that keeps your ass glued to the seat, watching me, giving me exactly what I want, and that's a reaction.
The sad thing is, Broly is far from the only one to receive this treatment. And while it typically goes a bit like this,
so there's gonna come a point when you forget about what happened, and you're gonna want to come back at me, and you're gonna want to wash the taste of my dick out of your mouth.
Through this cycle of harassment and being a clown that most like to just point and laugh at, LTG gained a cult following. Mind you, this following is 90% trolls, and while we have no intention of throwing shade here, but while researching, we came across a video and it gets a little goofy.
The speeches don't matter. What matters is if you can pull off the victory from somebody you thought was gonna be an easy battle. If you lose to me, do you realize that you're gonna be a complete laughing stock?
The speeches don't matter. What matters is the battle. And if you lose to me, I don't know, like, what are you talking about? Why can't you sound like a normal person? You won't ever get to Hollywood, Dale. I'll get to Hollywood before you do.
While you could call that hilarious, it was also shocking that it goes on for nearly 40 minutes. Additionally, Low Tier God has a doxing problem. Beginning last year and likely ongoing to this day, LTG has abused the YouTube copyright system not only to remove non-copyright infringing content, but to obtain information on his victims in order to dox them on his livestream. When you submit a YouTube copyright counterclaim, you have to give the other party your address, phone number, email, and full legal name so they can sue you should they go down that route. In order to get information on June the King, a YouTuber who makes documentaries about influential creators, including LTG, he claimed June's video about him, alleging it was a defamation of character, which, as a side note, has nothing to do with copyright. And there's a separate report which does not use the DMCA takedown. When June counterclaimed to keep the video up, LTG doxed him over a series of streams while encouraging his audience to mass flag the channel in order to get it shut down. Unfortunately, members of LTG's inner circle began to call and harass June with death threats. We reached out to June, and he said that for a while he would just leave his house and go on walks because he felt unsafe. All because he made a video and defended its right to exist. LTG has since backed off of June, who by the way makes amazing videos, after he released My Cyberstalker Needs to Be Stopped, Low Tier God. When LTG first went after June, his subs were not what they are now, which could imply that he only backed off because of the attention he was getting. Doxing and targeting smaller content creators is an extremely cowardly move and something that's reminiscent of Quantum TV's most recent action than anything else. Delon's presence is absurdly toxic no matter what community he's part of. All I know is that you won't need to pay $50 for me to turn on my webcam.
Yep, you sure did type words. I just don't know if they made sense. It's okay, Burnt Toast, I'm here to learn. No, you're not. You're here to unsuccessfully try to get under my skin. But creepy reading your exact existence is giving my ad button more revenue, and I'm getting more viewership. You've directly helped me, and I appreciate that. You're gonna learn that you're dumb. Could be ad time. You know, chat, you guys come up with some good ideas. I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys. This is chat's idea, not mine. This is chat's idea, not mine. I'm with chat on this one. You're scared of criticism. Oh yeah, I am? Well then that's nice, man. Say it behind the ad, dude. Hide behind.
Raruva loves pets.
That was a partnered Twitch streamer that goes by the name Taller Toast, and no, that isn't out of the ordinary for his clip. And before we go any farther, I want to mention that Toast is nowhere near as bad as most people on this list. In fact, he even has his moments where he can be pretty cool, like that time when he told all the anti-vaxxers he'd ban them on sight. However, we are including him because despite thinking Taller Toast on some level is actually an entertaining streamer, the only problem is his ego sometimes turns his most entertaining moments into that clip from the beginning. Taller Toast has been around Twitch for quite a while and has settled quite nicely into the Dead by Daylight community with his unique brand of survivor-focused gameplay.
Oh, you better watch your mouth, Buster. You speak like that to your dad again and I'll kick your ass in a video game, homeboy. You talk to me in that tone of voice without saying sir, and I'll make sure your mom gets it tonight, bitch. Don't you ever talk to your superiors like that again. I'm yo motherfucking daddy. You never forget it. Don't you ever talk to your dad like that again, bitch.
Currently sitting at 17,000 subscribers, Toast has protected his tweets and set his VODs to subscriber-only mode, mostly in an attempt to prevent haters from using his VODs to find evidence of his behavior. Either that, or to force people that don't like him to pay him actual money in order to react to his content.
All right, I'm just gonna delete the VOD. Easy. I'm just gonna delete it. Fuck you, bitch. Not even gonna bother. Not even gonna bother.
This man really laughs like a 19th century villain when he found out he could bully another Twitch streamer who's a smaller content creator than he is, completely slander his community and spew blatant lies about it, and get away with it.
Oh well, now I don't even need to bother with a DMCA claim. Oh well, it's funny how that works.
This was made after a few videos uploaded by Spook and Jukes and Epitome gained notoriety, which covered some of Toast's more questionable behavior. This usually comes in the form of many accusations and constant virtue signaling. For example, because Epitome said good game in Toast stream chat, Epitome is now a stream sniper who's getting reported not only to Twitch, but also Dead by Daylight for being a pedo that also harbors pedo mod. That accusation is particularly egregious because the mod in question is being called a pedo for being excited to date a fellow 16-year-old.
It's apparently a running joke in their community about their mod dating rich 16-year-olds.
Dude, I love how he tries to act all surprised and like a little social justice warrior now. Basically what happened is he sent his mod, or maybe he didn't, I don't know, but his mod went into my stream and they looked at the chat logs for the whole stream and they saw one of my mods, the one who's under 18, talking about trying, you know, dating a 16-year-old girl. This is not a running joke. This is actually the only stream I ever had where he talked about this. And now he's just blowing it out of proportion. It's just disgusting to me that people like this exist. I'm frankly, like, this is just pathetic to me.
Something similar happened to Spookinjukes, who has been blamed for a good chunk of the harassment Taller Toast gets on an almost nightly basis, all because he said Taller Toast was funny and did not see a reason to make a video calling him out. A video was eventually made about Taller Toast, but that was after 8 months of being completely vilified, as well as having many horrible, almost baseless accusations hurled his way on both the stream and on Twitter. Since Taller Toast goes out of his way to hide evidence and delete anything that may be seen as incriminating, it's unknown exactly how far this harassment has gotten. But after going to his stream for like, I don't know, about 2 weeks, I've seen about 5 of them now, I think he's mentioned Spookinjukes and his hateful community at least once a stream since I've been researching this. To summarize, Taller Toast views himself as the streamer. He's right, you're wrong, and get banned if you disagree. While a lot of his stream is bitching about people who play killers in Dead by Daylight,
if you play killer, you're playing on novice recruit difficulty. Solo queue survivor is Giga Chad survival mode. So I do play killer if I feel like having an easy time for blood points and a cruise control playstyle. I play survivor if I want an actual challenge in the game.
And to be fair to Taller Toast, there are brief glimpses of an awesome punk rock personality. I just wish he would check the ego at the door, apologize for calling so many people a pedophile, and focus that energy on monsters who actually deserve it, and not perceived boogeymen just trying to wish him a good game. Young Don the Sauce God used to be a popular storytime animator with over 2 million subscribers, which in retrospect is pretty sad, because after watching several of these videos, it's clear to see that Donald used to be a talented narrator, a person who could make an appealing video just by relating his perspective and telling stories about his life as a Jamaican American.
When you walk in these streets, especially if you live somewhere that's not super safe, keep your head on a swivel, keep your valuables concealed, and you know, if you're ever being robbed and you know, you're outgunned or outmanned, just give them what they ask for, man. Because at the end of the day, things can always be replaced, but your life, pretty sure you only get one of those.
His channel seemed to be doing great until he dropped the animation and swapped focus to his second channel, Young Don Reborn. In this paradigm shift, Don went from light-hearted, relatable stories with general messages that could potentially apply to anyone to deeply political commentary and faith-based takes that are, I'm not gonna mince words here, just outright horrible. This came as a shock to many viewers who were confused by this tonal whiplash.
I'm not joking. Homosexuality is, I don't like that lifestyle. I disagree with that lifestyle altogether. It is a sin, it's an abomination. I find it gross and repulsive, personally. You know, the sight of 2 men kissing on screen.
Sure, his old content used to bring up religion every now and again, but at least in my honest opinion, as someone who isn't very religiously inclined, it was a good use of it. At least back then, his content didn't focus on putting down a group of people that the Bible rarely brings up to begin with. Normally, I wouldn't feel the need to lean into this point so much to make a point, but it's a real contentious issue that continues to be a problem with both him and his chat. Honestly, I do my best to remain apolitical in these videos, but it's 2022 apparently, and the question of should the gays have rights is once again a political one, especially in the eyes of young Don, who really wants to die on that hill. This would culminate in Don's Twitch account being suspended on July 22nd, 2022, within 24 hours of reviewing Daft Pina's video, Young Don, the Incel God. Currently, the Twitch is up, though he spends most of his time live on YouTube. During these shows, Don plays wacky sound effects every time he thinks he's made a point.
The Bible does say that men are supposed to run the house and they're supposed to run the church. If we're gonna connect the two dots, I would imagine the workplace, if God had to say on who should be in charge, it would probably be the fellas.
Usually these takes are pretty bad, offensive, or just plain wrong. As an extreme example of a bad take gone incredibly wrong would be his endorsement of Andrew Tate in Everything But Name, and it's disheartening. I mean, before I begin, just to make my point, look at the thumbnail. He's right? Really? He's right. For those that don't know, Andrew Tate is a very unchristian man and con artist that was removed from the show Big Brother for beating a woman with a belt. What I really do not understand is how someone like Young Don, who's super invested into moral policing the way that other people live their lives, would endorse someone like Andrew Tate, who is currently being investigated for human trafficking. For those that want to know more about Andrew Tate and the scams he's been involved in, I recommend CoffeeZilla's video, which did a great breakdown on the whole thing. In short, Young Don has a lot of very controversial and downright horrible takes. For example, he accused Daft Pina of being a racist liberal, all because he had a black voice actor in his video who Don refers to as a lapdog.
Black dudes like this, the ones that, you know, act like, you know, they're little lapdogs for white dudes like Daft Pina. You know what I'm saying? Like they jump at the opportunity to tear down, you know, a black dude they don't know. Dudes like this, you know what I'm saying? They're pathetic. They're sad. They're sorry. These effeminate, weak.
His extremely bigoted views towards other communities are so out of touch that it's offensive. Young Don doesn't really understand why what he says is hurtful and potentially harmful, and is probably why he's getting so much blowback right now. There have been so many times I wanted to stop researching this guy because he'll say something horrible and wrong, and I'm just like... Next time Young Don feels the need to bully another group of people in the name of his good book, maybe he should look back into it for a few passages about compassion. I'm sure that if he looks hard enough, he'll find some.
Alright, before I start, I'd like to thank the people on this production for providing me with the information needed to talk about this guy. 'Cause oh god, this is really, really bad. Despite his half-assed apology and promises to seek help, Arcadum has not changed at all since the drama 8 months ago. I know, shocker. A guy who has 21 twit-longers made about him, with allegations that range from abusing his volunteers that help run his D&D world, to sexual assault, manipulation, and general incel behavior, while also being in a fully committed relationship with another woman. Several women came forward expressing how, while working for him, he would try to constantly get sexual favors by acting pitiful. What makes this particularly frustrating is that, while going through all 21 of these big documents, screenshots, and voice recordings, it becomes increasingly clear that Arcadum is not necessarily trying to get consent, as he's trying to get them to not say no. What isn't up for debate is that Arcadum abused the people around himself and discarded them all for the purposes of using his position of power to coerce sexual favors and free labor. Arcadum's old talent agency, Novo, had this to say about the subject. He was not remotely truthful with our agency and reported a vastly different situation than these women collaborated. On the morning of August 30th, based on the knowledge he had given us prior to the women coming out, we offered to fund a third-party investigation to discern the truth of his initial claim. Needless to say now, that investigation is no longer required. So, all this happened. Arcadum was cancelled, and that was that, right? Well, no, not exactly. He took a short hiatus, and then returned to streaming D&D and tabletop games as normal. It should be noted that while his views are a fraction of what they used to be, he has an active Discord and a strong core group of followers that at the very least are delusional about the severity of the issue. While working on these videos, we tend to vibe check the community, and I shit you not, on the day Creepy checked Arcadum's Discord community, an unrelated 20-second twitlonger came out, and Arcadum joined the Discord where this happened.
What are you currently feeling about it, Arcadum?
Betrayal, rage, nihilism. Like I want to post just to fight back, dude, because I didn't fight back last time. But at the same time, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody, man. I just don't understand why people are taking these shots at me.
Oh, it's because you're a punching bag right now more than a friend. You're pretty much a stepping stool of trying to save face.
I really hope I don't have to say anything, but if this gets out of control, I'm going to. I'm not going to have this shit happen again, dude.
If you want to post it, then send it off. Shoot it off.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. No.
I mean, Tiffany's
just
already
watch how it's going right now.
Oh shit, yeah, Tiffany. I don't know. This might be just a big ass nothing burger because, again, literally it's horrible to say, but yeah.
In this call, we can confirm his mods were completely dismissive and outright hostile to the person coming forward. Arcadum denied that he had done anything wrong, and everyone in the server seemed to have the opinion that the controversy was just a bunch of private relationship stuff that should have stayed private. Arcadum is lying about the victims and enforcing a community that enables his shitty behavior. All of this just goes to show that he never got help. He's still doing the same manipulative bullshit that got him canceled in the first place, and he doesn't even see what he did was wrong. Arcadum is one dangerous content creator that needs to fuck off the internet and get help.
Who remembers Ghost from True Capitalist Radio? If you were to ask his listeners who Ghost is, they'd tell you that he's a wheelchair-bound, My Little Pony-loving Alex Jones ripoff who lives in a trailer, eats copious amounts of Asian tiger shrimp, and causes his listeners to experience their transgender awakening. All of this is only a cross-section of the memes and in-jokes surrounding this short-tempered, ultra-right-wing political pundit from San Antonio, Texas. Ghost experienced an explosion of popularity in the summer of 2011 when his blog talk radio show True Capitalist Radio was discovered by 4chan users. What the internet quickly discovered is that the host of True Capitalist Radio was brazenly homophobic, transphobic, sexist, and of course, racist.
Are you kidding me? Oh, hold on right there, because, I think that it's time to play everybody's favorite game. It's Guess the Minority!
Bear in mind that many of the examples you may see on this show today will be tame compared to what you'll find on the show, mainly because his YouTube account and people who re-upload his content get banned quite frequently. We're gonna play it safe on the examples. Just know that it's cartoonishly over the top. The big problem Ghost always seems to have is that he doesn't really see any problems with his questionable behavior and swears up and down that he isn't a bigot, instead calling himself a melting pot of friendship.
I am not a racist, for Christ's sake! I'm a melting pot of friendship! I'm a nice guy!
If all of this doesn't sound completely insane, things are about to get crazier because what followed is some of the most justified trolling in internet history.
Texas roasting on an open fire. You get that asshole out of here. Get that stupid sick son of a bitch out of here. That's the Texas roasting on an open, but get him out. Get him out.
404, Radio Graffiti.
Hey, Ghost.
What's up?
There's this girl that listens to your broadcast every day. Sheila, if you're listening, I just want to tell you that I love you with all my heart. And Ghost, will you dance if I ask you to dance? Would you run and never look back?
Oh my God.
Will you laugh if you saw me crying?
Oh my God.
And will you save my soul tonight?
Man, I hope this gets you laid.
Will you tremble if I touch your lips? Will you laugh? Oh, please tell me this. Will you if I tell you dying?
All right, get this. Get him off, for Christ's sake. I hope that gets you laid, for Christ's sake. That was, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, you know.
The clip you just heard comes from the call-in segment on Ghost Show called Radio Graffiti, which gets its name from the short 5-second window that callers are given to say whatever it is on their mind. This segment would use to troll Ghost in various ways, including calls like the one that you just heard, playing splices or remixes using Ghost's voice, insulting him or calling him racist, or a multitude of other tactics that have been proven to provoke reactions out of him. And when he reacts, he reacts.
Navy Husky, Radio Graffiti. Ghost from True Capitalist Radio is a God damn you, Navy Husky! I'm sick of your troll terrorist crap! God damn it! God damn you!
The phrase cans.wave is used to describe instances where Ghost becomes so agitated he throws the microphone into a pile of what are presumably beer cans. Many have speculated that Ghost fakes his epic temper tantrums, and this would prove to be at least accurate to a degree, as confirmed by this 2012 Pal Talk session.
I talked about how I faked the rage when it came down to these stupid memes that I wanted to be popular and that sort of thing, man. I mean,
in 2011, Ghost would disavow the conservative movement, citing disillusionment with party leaders like John McCain and Sarah Palin, though, at least in our opinion, this is likely due to jealousy over the perceived success of other pundits like Glenn Beck, Ben Shapiro, and Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, you stupid! Alex sounds like Alex Jones! Alex Jones! Goddamn, don't compare me to Alex Jones! Freaking Alex Jones rips me off! He rips me off!
Ghost rebranded his show as True Capitalist Radio, which was a broadcast that is remembered for its frequent raids by 4chan users. And of course, the thing that was really popular in 2011 was...
Stupid sack of crap. Get him off with the stupid pony. I'm getting infested by bronies. I'm getting infested with sick, testicle and overly feminine bronies, for Christ's sake. I mean, is this world gone, man?
Many look fondly on this era of the show as the good old days, though unfortunately there's still a lot of shady activity in this time period. It's well documented that Ghost doxed listeners he considered to be his enemies, or leveraged their information to harass them. Take for instance, one of Ghost's oldest callers, Ibanezzo, who Ghost repeatedly prank called in a POW Talk session that took place February 29th.
Arriba, how you doing, big boy?
Okay.
Hey, Ivan, how you doing, man? How you doing, huh? David?
How did you get my show? How the fuck did you get my number?
Yeah, what happened? I thought you were going to do some doxing. I thought you were going to do some doxing. Arriba, arriba. Capitalist army strikes again, baby.
This harassment took place for almost half an hour, with Ghost releasing Ibanezzo's phone number and threatening to throw out even more info should he ever troll the broadcast ever again. Ghost from this era had a penchant for releasing phone numbers of callers who upset him, or threatening to do so in order to bully them into submission.
How about if I just give your number, maybe get some more people into it? How about that? 23?
Someone's actual phone number.
Should I keep going?
No.
No, why not? Why not? Don't you want to, more people to get in on that that you got going on?
No, it's only 4-way, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Shut up.
True Capitalist Radio would continue to broadcast until 2012 when @GhostPolitics Twitter account was hacked by an unknown person and begun to post about how much Ghost loves My Little Pony, causing the host of True Capitalist Radio to finally throw in the towel for good. Except he fucking didn't. In 2016, Ghost made a return to broadcasting in order to show his support for the Republican candidate Donald Trump in the upcoming presidential election. This return to broadcasting marks an era where Ghost shifts his focus from the production of the show to extracting as many donations from his listeners as possible. Blog Talk Radio had been bought out that year by a competitor service called Spreaker, effectively voiding Ghost's contract with BTR and leaving him without any means to monetize his show. Likely beginning as a way to recoup losses, Ghost begun to sell slots in his infamous Inner Circle. The Inner Circle is an exclusive community of fans who have paid to have personal correspondences with Ghost and join a chat room which is hosted on Element since Ghost has been banned from Discord. A slot in Ghost's Inner Circle will cost you $300 today, though if you can't afford that, Ghost will still happily take your money for the opportunity to troll him through donation-based services like Stream Elements, donation alerts, and Buy Me a Beer.
Don't do this crap. Please don't do this garbage, man. God damn it. And don't spam WW in the chat. Don't encourage this. Seriously, don't encourage this idiot. All right, that's about enough. All right, with fucking W's, you
Hours of these broadcasts are dedicated to watching videos on YouTube that fans pay $30 a pop for him to watch 5 minutes of whatever. Even when the Radio Graffiti segment everyone knows and loves made its return, that too was sometimes locked behind a paywall. This heavily monetized version of the broadcast, which still persists today, is known as The Ghost Show. It has stuck around despite moving from streaming platform to streaming platform, following a series of bans on websites like Periscope, DLive, and Odyssey. The Odyssey one is very funny because they even accept the pro-slavery guys. Ghost can't help but break terms of service violations and also generally being an outright scam with his horrible crypto advice. With that in mind, we want to talk about one of Ghost's more recent controversies before wrapping up. When the Inner Circle initially formed, the emailing list used to send Inner Circle members priority notifications was leaked by a fan who we're going to refer to as Rob. In retaliation, Ghost began to post pictures of Rob on his social media, claiming that the man in the photograph is his long-lost son and was asking for help to locate him. This quote-unquote hunt for Ghost's son meme was devised by Ghost himself in order to trick his fans into doxing Rob and his family without having to post their addresses or names himself. Ghost would take this even farther by tweeting a picture of Rob's dad, who we'll refer to as Ken. In this tweet, Ghost posts a Christmas photo of Ken while inciting his listeners. This produced Ghost's desired outcome, and people begun to believe that he really was the man in the picture that he had tweeted, leading to people calling and harassing Ken, believing that they were still trolling Ghost. In no uncertain terms, what Rob did was a dick move, but Ghost had retaliated by impersonating his father online, even though his father had absolutely nothing to do with his son's action. On August 8th, 2021, Ken called into the spontaneous Sunday edition of Ghost Show in order to set the record straight that he and Ghost are not the same person. When Ken tried to call and confront Ghost and explain himself on air, Ghost chooses to lie through his teeth and pins all of the blame on his listeners.
And I would appreciate it if the rest of your audience would quit sending me emails, quit calling me, quit calling my family. Do you realize that they have screwed up a movie deal? Okay, there's a lot at stake here.
Look, first of all, these people have been fucking with me since 2009, okay? This is what these trolls on the internet do.
Here, Ghost is trying to argue that Ken was a unfortunate victim of extreme trolls who sometimes just spontaneously spread rumors that they have uncovered Ghost's identity by assigning him alter egos like John Conquest or Thomas Albin. This explanation conveniently ignores the fact that Ghost instigated the harassment by intentionally impersonating Ken in his Twitter post. Ken buys Ghost's lie at face value, however, which is really unfortunate because from the way Ken talks about the harassment he received, it seems like Ghost's antics may have really affected his ability to find work as an actor due to bad publicity.
Let me say this for them, and this will calm all of them down so that they'll leave you and I alone in this regard, at least for a while. At least for a while. It's got to stop, okay? And I'm not saying you're promoting it, okay? I'm leaving you out of this, and I'm talking directly to your audience now. It's got to stop.
I hope you can see why this might be the video that gets me in trouble. But with that out of the way, I would like to take some time to thank the people that helped make this video possible. First, I'd like to thank Cherry Donut from my Patreon community for sending me over some videos that made researching this a little bit easier. Second, I'd like to thank the amazing people that took time out of their day, often on short notice, just to help me make this. I honestly don't deserve some of the kind people that help me into my day-to-day, and the only reason why I've gotten as far as I did is through the collaborative effort of others, and I am nothing but thankful for that. And I just would like to take some time now to thank those people. And to close out, I would like to thank the Patreon donators that make this possible in the first place. With their additional support, I'm able to pay for things like extra music for the channel, editors, and generally things that make my life easier and the videos look that much better. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that I do without their help, and again, I'm incredibly grateful. Things have been tight for me due to a bunch of unexpected bills that kinda crept up on me, but it was because of the Patreon people that I was able to float, keep making videos, and focus on what I like doing most, and that's making content for you guys. Hopefully in the next week I'll start streaming and we can fix some more of those issues and progressively get this computer in working order. But that's just the optimist in me. I've been your host, That Creepy Reading, saying that no matter how bad it gets, it's always worth seeing the sunrise in the morning. See you guys next time.